drop your attention into the area of your higher chest, right here, right below your collarbone. This is called the thymus gland. Drop your attention into this area and let it stay here. Now, let's take a few deep breaths with our attention staying on this area and visualize rays of pink energy expanding from this area and filling up our aura. Let's do this. This is called your higher heart chakra. And it is responsible for what they call unconditional love. And the way I interpret that from my direct experience is it is love that is independent of the object, meaning it is when you just love. Who? What? Love who? Love what? Just love. Why? Why? Just love. That kind of vibe. I can tell you about my direct experience of it, how I experience it. It is responsible for the feeling of love, affection. It has an innocent, romantic, and elevated quality to it. It's very fragile and gentle and tender. When I think about this energy, oxytocin comes to mind. It's the hormone of love, they call it, the hormone of love and hugs. And this is the hormone that mothers produce when they breastfeed their babies. I think they produce this hormone in order to be able to produce breast milk. Don't quote me on that. So this energy is loving, it is tender, it is a very soft, very gentle, very, very affectionate. It's warm, it's romantic, but in a very elevated, innocent way. I would describe it as cutie patootie energy. You can quote me on this. Put all of your attention into the area of your throat, right here, and let it stay there. Feel it, sense it. Maybe you need to do some clearing your voice. Do that if you need to. I sense that you've already done that as soon as you put your attention there. Let's take a few deep breaths in and out of this area and imagine a sky blue energy expand out of here. The color of clear sky at daytime, that kind of blue. Okay, so focus here. Deep breaths in and out, sky blue energy expanding from the throat, filling up the aura. Let's do this. Jesus Christ. It feels very sore for me here on the right side. So, what is this area responsible for? What form of energy essentially is it? Well, first and foremost, on a very basic level, your throat chakra is responsible for you being able to articulate your so-called internal world into spoken word and actually speak it. To put it simply, on a basic level, it is responsible for your ability to articulate your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations, your intuitive insight and guidance, I want to say, for some reason, into words and speak that, communicate that through words. What else is it responsible for? It is responsible for transparency. We humans are very much used to making a very hard and concrete distinction between the so-called external world and the so-called internal world. Your throat chakra is responsible for your integrity and transparency, as within, so without. So your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations are transparent to yourself. You're honest with yourself about your thoughts, what they are, your feelings, what those are, your overall state of being and what it is. And you communicate that to the world clearly, concisely, precisely. It is responsible for honestly speaking your mind. It is responsible for authentic self expression. If the solar plexus chakra is responsible for how powerfully and how visibly and impressively and joyfully you express yourself, the throat chakra is responsible for how honest, clear, and transparent your communication is. It creates transparency. It creates an opening where things seemed closed off before. It is a catalytic energy. It is actively expansive. Meaning, where you saw only hurdles and obstacles in the past, looking at the very same thing, approaching the very same thing from throat chakra level of consciousness, you see possibility there now. Where? Because you clearly express your biases as they are, and you're honest about them. And therefore, you see them clearly, and therefore, you are free from them. Or that naturally leads to freedom from biases, from personal biases in your judgment and conclusions and meaning making. This energy operates like thunder. It is the energy of sudden clarity. Where things used to be very unclear and muddy and polluted and distorted and all twisted up, this energy comes in. Boom! With spoken truth, it brings forward clarity that shakes everything up. This is the energy of honesty, transparency, authenticity, and integrity, meaning perfect alignment between the internal world and external world. Therefore, it guides or rules over synchronicity, because your internal world and the reflection of it that you see, which you call the external world, they become a complete one-on-one match, ideally speaking, when you are completely honest with yourself and with the so-called external world. Now focus on the middle of your forehead, right here. Focus on the middle of your forehead. Put your attention in there and let it stay there. Okay? Let's take a few big, deep breaths and visualize a blue violet energy expand from that area and fill up the aura. Let's do this. This energy, speaking from my direct experience, is responsible for your subconscious mind, the subconscious mind of humanity, the subconscious mind as a realm of being in general. It is responsible for intuition. It is responsible for direct insight. It is responsible for, as cliche as that sounds, seeing the essence of things behind the surface level. Seeing the essence of things behind the surface. It is the energy of deep contemplation and deep intuitive insight. The word lunatic came to mind. Since, according to astrology, the moon rules over intuition and the subconscious mind, this energy could be described as lunar or lunatic, if you want to be more bold and humorous with it. Now, focus on the very top of your head, on the very top of your dome. Find that soft spot right here on the top of your head. On the top of your head, if you can. I sounded like Borat there for a second. So find that soft spot on the crown of your head and focus on that. Let's take a few big, deep breaths and visualize a violet energy. If you're an American or British person, the word purple might be more clear to you, but it's actually wrong. I mean violet. You know, purple, the color purple is not on the rainbow, and violet is. So the last color on the rainbow, right, or the heart emoji that comes after blue, that's violet right there. So focus on this area right here, the very top of your head, the top of your dome, the soft spot right here. If you can find that. If you can't, just focus on the top of your head and let's visualize the color violet expanding from this area. Okay, let's do this. What is this area responsible for? It is deemed the crown chakra. The first word that comes to mind is transcendence. Transcending the patterns of your beliefs, expectations, ways of thinking, your grounds, which you rely upon. It is responsible for transcending your patterns of behavior, ways of being, ways of feeling, ways of looking at the world, and seeing all of those from the highest perspective, which in and of itself alone is transformational. So, along with transcendence, it is responsible for transformation. When you transcend your ways of thinking, being, perceiving, behaving, and look at those from above. When you look at how you think, feel, behave, and the why behind those from above, that changes those patterns immediately. Why? Because then you decide which patterns to keep buying into and which not. Which patterns to opt back into and which not. Transcendence, transformation. It takes you beyond the confines of linear time. We think of time as a line that moves forward into infinity and stretches from the past. A clear, direct line. From this perspective, from the perspective of this level of consciousness, time is cycles upon 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 cycles that could be all transcended. Some small, some big, some larger than life, some mediocre, some not too big, not too little, but all cycles of time that could be transcended and that could be opted into. Everything is happening simultaneously. and we choose which frequency we are tuned into. This very body speaking, blah, 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 moving this mouth is a frequency. It's one frequency among an infinite array of possible frequencies that could be tuned into. So this body right here, which responds to the name Adib, is one way that the creator, the source, God, decides to look upon himself and experience himself through taste, touch, sex. Extreme sports, music, and cuddling, and drawing, and walking, and enjoying nature, and being upset, and being sad, and being joyful, and watching movies, and appreciating art, and depreciating other forms of art. This is that. Transcendence, transformation, and connection, or rather remembrance of infinite possibilities that could be tuned into. Free will. Free will. Now, for the last part, do you know what a nimbus is? In any case, a nimbus is the kind of sphere that angels have floating above their heads. The kind of circle, I think, is the more appropriate word. Angels have floating above their heads. Okay? So a few inches above your head, I want you to visualize and feel a circle, a nimbus, just like in angels, right above your head. No. Imagine that, feel that, tune into that nimbus of the color white. Okay? So focus on it and imagine it expand. Okay? A few breaths. Let's take them. Now, from that white nimbus, keep your attention on it. As it has expanded, imagine through that white nimbus, pure white light. It could be with a hint of gold. It could be golden white light, if you so prefer. Penetrate the top of your dome and flow right into the whole of your body. So through this nimbus, pure white light flows into your body like a fountain of bliss, like Niagara, like a waterfall. Okay, let's do this. download that white light through this nimbus into the whole of your body, going down your spinal column, down your legs, into your feet, into your arms, to your hands, filling up every inch of your body. White light. Keep downloading that and let it flood your entire system, your entire body. What is this responsible for? Your direct and utmost immediate connection to Source, to God, to Spirit, to being, pure beingness, pure consciousness through your energy system.